All right. Oh shit, we're live. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of In My Opinion with me, Pro/Dave. Um, and it's the return of the Mack. We got the T Spiller, aka B Mac, back at it with us for another In My Opinion. So the last episode was great, as I was telling him off air. So I can't wait to see what we can discuss in this episode. But before we do that, I just got to ask, how you doing, man?
Listen, like I'm great. So like I'm glad to be here. So like thank you for the opportunity for like I'm having me back.
Hey, I'm happy that you're here, man, because there's, like I said, that last episode was good. We had a lot of good conversations, and a lot has happened since the last time we've talked. So we got Midwest Marks um, in the building. Saying what's up, what's up, and Kenny from the call up saying let's go. All right. Well, first topic, first thing that's been heavily discussed since maybe like a couple days ago is the whole Roman Reigns, him coming up during a house show and saying that this will be the last time he'll ever see Jersey. And you know how the internet is they take things what people say and they overdo it a lot. So, but then it came out later that I guess he's going to do no house shows really. Um, so I wanted to get your take on that. And is he pretty much done at this point?
I don't think he's done, but I think he's plotting his exit strategy on the low, and nobody knows but his family what he's really going to do next. I think he's keeping it pretty much to the table right now, as he should, until he sees what's what. But I don't think he's done completely just yet. But I do think he's plotting his Hollywood exit, and soon, as far as this, I'm debut to Hollywood.
Yeah, you think he's going to go to Hollywood?
Why wouldn't he? I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's like he's attractive. All he needs is one good role.
Yeah, I mean that's true. He does, and he did like dabble himself into that Hollywood. He knows what it's like at least because him and his cousin, cousin, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, The
cousin.
Rock, had him on one of the Fast and Furious movies. He barely had any lines, but now he knows what it's like, and I'm sure he got a taste of it and was like, "Yeah, I want to do this now." Like so. With that being said, with the exit strategy, um, who do you see since WWE doesn't really like to push a lot of people outside of Seth Rollins,
Mhm.
um, and that's the only one I can think of at the moment. But like, who's next in line for that? Who's the guy to take the belt off of Roman?
They don't have anybody because
Nobody.
the names I've been seeing, it looks like I've been seeing people say Edge, AJ Styles, but these guys are almost 50 years old.
That's what I'm
So why,
saying.
so why would you push AJ Styles and Edge and Randy Orton, who's a few years away from retirement himself, over somebody like a Ricochet, like who's 32, 33 years old, who's young? Like they don't really have nobody.
You see what I did? I shook my head, right? Because I know for a fact we could say all these names and there ain't no way they're gonna push them to the moon like that unless they get their
They're
head
not
out of
gonna,
their ass.
I mean, because they're not gonna push Cody like that either. I'm sorry to say it, but Cody not gonna be the guy to replace Roman. He's gonna get a championship opportunity, but will he get pushed for 2 years like they've been pushing Roman for 2 years undefeated? Absolutely not. He's not gonna get that treatment.
Man, there's a lot of people that said he's like the only one that could.
He's not, and he shouldn't be the only one. Like it's just a simple fact that they're not trying to push nobody. That's the problem.
So as far as an exit strategy goes, does he even have one then? If they're not, I mean, what is it? Is he just gonna come up on stage and go, "All right, that's it. See you guys later." and then they put the belts vacant for a little bit, or
He can go to Hollywood tomorrow, like, and be just fine. That'll be their problem, not his problem.
I mean, you're right, but
Because let's be honest, he's following in the footsteps of his cousin The Rock. What better way or what better person to talk to than The Rock on how to plan your exit strategy at the height of your career, like him and Stone Cold both did?
there is an issue that with that though is that he's still got a contract, so
Yeah,
he could, like you said, he could go to Hollywood, but it would still be under WWE's dime.
he can go to Hollywood and say, "Listen, I want to be a part timer. I don't want to wrestle unless I want to wrestle, but otherwise, I'm gonna be doing my Hollywood thing." Same thing John Cena's doing. Like John
Right.
Cena's not wrestling every week.
Oh, you're right. Yep, I totally forgot about that.
And the fact that he's planning on being off for 10 weeks already, that's a problem already because they ain't got nobody booked for 10 weeks once he takes that time off. So he's
But you
already
know what?
plotting his, so he's already plotting his exit with those 10 weeks off. It's just being disguised as, oh, he's taking time off. But what you gonna be doing for 10 weeks between June to September?
Yeah, yeah, filming a movie probably, right?
Well, I don't know, like if he's gonna be doing that, but he ain't gonna be wrestling as much as he's doing now.
That's that's interesting, man. We could see him come back with like a whole new look, because depending on what he's doing, he could be preparing himself for a role. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's
And
next
this is
for
the problem that they put themselves in because they don't have no replacements. They spent much time investing into one person. Now that he's getting ready to plan his eventual exit strategy, like for real, they ain't got nobody to fall back on. And for what I'm hearing, let me not say that because I don't want to. Let me not say that because I don't want to get my Twitter blown up tonight. But
come on.
I'm hearing that somebody is next on the chopping block, and it's one of the favorites amongst the fans.
Ali?
No, it ain't him.
Oh,
But Mr. Alexander, I'm hearing that he's on the chopping block next to get cut.
Cedric Alexander, huh? Dude, uh, at this point, I'm not even surprised. I'm not.
I mean, they ain't doing it with no way.
One thing I wanted to say before we move on with the Roman thing is that good for him, because I hope he takes advantage of that, because I don't know if you remember during the pandemic, beginning of the pandemic era, they did him dirty by having him, not being shown up in any of the vignettes, not saying his name after he left, all that stuff. They basically like Chris Benoit him out of a lot of things. Seriously, there was a moment in time
Well,
where
it
he
wasn't
wasn't on
even that.
anything.
It's the fact that they had him wrestling at the height of the pandemic in a sloppy shop of a coronavirus infested field performance center when this man is in cancer remission. That was that was the dirty part. Hell, like fuck. Him not being included in vignettes. The dirty part was him. He like,
No, 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 no,
listen,
no.
he,
You're hearing me wrong. Is
he could have
I
died.
agree. I agree. That's also horrible. But
Mm-hmm,
the pettiness of like the reception back from WWE after he said, "I'm not doing this. Like my life is at risk."
mm-hmm.
That's when they started doing the vignettes thing, and it's
Well,
like,
that's not shocking.
yeah,
Yeah, that's not shocking because that's what they do. I mean, like, look at what happened with the whole Ali situation. They basically kept him hostage in his contract until he stopped running his mouth on social media, and then they put him on TV. But how long will that last though? Because he's one wrong word from catering. Like he's on thin ice as it is. So how long will his run last?
I mean the way that they booked him lately, um, he might as well be in catering, as far as I'm concerned. Hey, what's going on, KB? My evening is doing all right. Um, yeah, we're just talking wrestling. If you got anything that you want to discuss, please go ahead and put it in the chat. So yeah, I don't know if you saw also to pivot away from the Roman thing. Uh, Eric Bischoff has been talking a lot of shit on Twitter.
What don't he say?
Yeah,
Like, what don't he say at this point?
and
Like,
I
he's
think at
thirsty.
this point, everybody's sick of it.
He's thirsty. He's mad. He's mad because at the height of his career, his company got bought out by Vince McMahon, and that was the end of his career as far as a booker and wrestling altogether. Yeah, he's mad. I'd be mad too if somebody half my age is already like avoiding half the pitfalls that I fell in due to my own doing. I'd be mad too. I'd be mad.
Did you see the interaction between him and CM Punk?
I mean, CM Punk's not wrong. Like, these old heads, they need to be quiet. Like, they've been running their mouth long enough. Like, your era is over.
Yeah.
Like, no disrespect, but this is 2022, not 1995, 1997.
So what killed me is that he, instead of like having like a legit argument about something like that, he ended up clapping back at CM Punk and talking about his fucking UFC shit. And I went ahead and said something online. I asked the question, just one question. How many fights have you been in, Eric? How many UFC fights have you been in? Everybody blew up. Everybody
It's
just
not
blew
even
up.
that. It's how many successful companies have you ran since WCW? Because we saw how that TNA, so like we saw how that TNA run with him and Hogan went, which was a disaster. So
that's a good comeback.
So
He's 0-2
it's like,
as far as companies.
so it's like, what successful company in the last 20 years have you been a part of that's actually lasted long enough?
Yeah, he's got a lot of nerve to talk about other people. And like we always say, I know we've said it on many podcasts. Is AEW perfect? No, nothing
But
is.
they're doing a hell of a lot better than what WCW was toward the end of their run.
Yeah.
And they're doing a whole lot better than what TNA was when they was at their height. Because let's be honest, TNA wasn't selling out all arenas each time they had a pay-per-view. They wasn't number one on television like AEW is at the height of their career as far as their run. When they had Kurt Angle and Samoa Joe and Sting and them over there, they wasn't number one. AEW is in what, like about to be on like almost year 4 soon.
Yeah.
And their success is already like superseded what they should have been already doing, which is crazy for like a startup company.
So
I'd be mad too. So I'd be mad too, like if I was Eric. I'd be mad.
Yeah, he's there's a word for it. He's
salty.
Mad. Yeah. Bitter. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you this though, since we're on the topic of AEW. How did you feel when you saw, what was your reaction, I guess, to the ratings coming out for Rampage?
That was to be expected because it was an earlier time than usual. Of course there was going to be low. Like that's with any situation. Like if you put any primetime show on at like 5 in the afternoon, like the ratings are going to be low. Like no matter like how good it does normally. Yeah, like that was to be expected. But the crazy thing is, what people don't realize is that the TNT bosses, they don't give a damn about them ratings for Rampage. What they care about is the Dynamite ratings that's doing well each and every week. That's what they care about. Like the Rampage ratings is a bonus to them, but like them ain't what they primarily looking at.
How would you make that better?
Pick a time slot that was doable. Like say 7 o'clock.
That doable? Because that's cutting right into SmackDown's time.
Yeah. So, I mean, like SmackDown be trash anyway. So like, I mean,
I'm just saying, man. There's you run into SmackDown's time, and also it's not. Yeah, exactly. It's not live. Like people don't like the pre-recorded.
They would have to change that. That would be the big difference. Is like they would have to make it live.
Yeah, start doing live shows. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think that's the way to fix it. I don't know if you want to go head to head exactly with SmackDown, um, necessarily. SmackDown, regardless of if it's good or bad, instantly gets almost over 2 million views every week.
Listen, like if I was around for 20 years, I would be getting like 2 million viewers too. That's to be
You're,
expected.
you're right. No, yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah,
that's to
yeah,
be
yeah.
expected.
Yeah. That's I. It was like the comparison. It's like
hmm It's like,
ESPN and Fox Sports. It's
yeah,
like ESPN's
it's
been
like you
around
can't
for
make a
almost 40
comparison
years.
off of a company that's been around for like almost 40 years. Like they should be getting over 2 million. If there wasn't that, I would be worried if I was them.
KB says, let's be real. If Eric Bischoff would have kept his ego in check and not paid so many guaranteed contracts, maybe WCW would still be in business.
Well, the way he flopped with Stone Cold Steve Austin at the height of his career, the way he flopped with Eddie Guerrero, the way he flopped with Chris Jericho, baby, his career would have still been the same.
Yeah, because
Because you basically gave you basically gave WWF a leadway to sign all three of them top stars out from under you when you didn't know what to do with them. Like you was the head booker in charge at the time, so I'd be salty too. Mm-hmm.
yeah, but didn't he have other influences
He
tell
did,
him? Yeah,
he did, and that's because he didn't know better. So now, because you do know better, but because you can't do history over again, now you're trying to live through AEW what you didn't get to do. Have a seat.
it's easy to Monday night quarterback anything, like play couch quarterback on anything. It's uh, like I can say you should have done this and this and this, or you should do this and this and this, but I'm not a
But
player,
how you give me
so
advice when
like
you didn't do it?
you
Like you didn't
know,
take the advice, so like why are you giving it to me?
uh, he says what hurt WCW and Eric was that he let the boys get in his ear.
Same
Yep.
way he's trying to get in Tony's ear.
And then see, and then they said they took advantage of him, and Turner when it came time to, oh fuck, I can't read. They took advantage of him and Turner when it came to time and money. Oh, okay. Yeah, they took advantage of him. Yep. I knew it. There was somebody always in his ear, and now he wants to be that guy because he's a bitter old man now.
Past his time. Mm-hmm.
Yep. He also said that a lot of those people that, when I asked that question, said um, he may be 66, but do you realize he knows karate? I'm sure he could beat CM Punk in a fight right now if he wanted to. It's come to the realization now that Twitter is really for, it's like the adults that never grew up. Yeah, basically.
Basically. Absolutely.
Well, I don't know if you have anything to add. Those were the two main things that I've had to that I wanted to discuss.
So let's talk about this Kota Ibushi situation with New Japan because baby, listen, he's been tweeting some stuff, and it's looking like he's getting ready to air their dirty secrets out. So I don't know what's going on over there, but it's looking like he's trying to leave. It sounded
Where is
to me
he?
like he's wanting. It sounded to me like he's wanting now. I don't know where he's trying to go, but it sounded to me like he's wanting out of New Japan
Hmm.
because them tweets that he was like posting earlier this morning, baby, they was telling a lot. It was a lot. It was a
Are
lot.
those the tweets with the text messages?
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't read it.
I mean, it was a lot. I mean, he's trying to air somebody's secrets out over there. I don't know what's going on.
Okay, so he's gonna be completely done with New Japan.
It sounded to me like he wants to be, but they don't want him to be. Like they're trying to keep him in his contract when he's trying to find a way out. I mean,
Holy shit! Like, so, I mean, we don't sit here and speculate, I guess, but like,
and we got the Forbidden Door coming in June.
that's what I'm saying. So
I
I
mean,
wonder.
I don't know what's going on with that, but it ain't looking good on their end if they're trying to convince him to stay and they're trying to strong arm him.
KB's asking a Golden Lovers reunion, maybe? Because
I,
then Probably not because that they're in relationship with New Japan.
No, that wouldn't work.
Yeah,
Not the way he's thinking it would work. No.
that's unfortunate because Kota Ibushi is very, 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 very talented,
I mean,
and I don't know who else would pick him up. I mean,
he
you could
couldn't.
say WWE,
No,
but there's no way
no.
nobody would. He's I don't know. He's older now, so he's like he's not. I don't know if he's in that age range.
He's only what, like 38, 39. Like that's not old. But uh, look at how they doing Nakamura. He came from New Japan. That wouldn't work out well.
Well, then he's got nowhere to go.
If he went,
Maybe Noah
maybe,
or
or DDT
DDT.
Pro. Yeah,
Yeah.
DDT Pro or Noah, but it couldn't be AEW because that'd be into that New Japan AEW partnership.
Okay, so what exactly was said in the tweet or
I
the?
just he seems very unhappy, like from what he was posting about, basically, and he's trying to air somebody's dirty secrets out as far as them being an abuser. I don't know who he's talking about. I don't know, like some head booker over there. I don't know if it's Gato or like or the new guy that who they got booking, but he's trying to basically air his dirty laundry about somebody being a sexual abuser.
Okay, yeah, that's heavy, man. That's heavy.
Mm. And, and so I'm like, people asking for Coda to be at Forbidden Door. I don't know about that. I
I
mean,
don't know.
that listen, that may be off the door now.
Okay, yeah, damn. Well, I mean, not to carry on the subject of
Mm-hmm.
sexual abusers and stuff like that,
No.
but it's like that actually brings me a good question that I just have on the top of my head right now. So, with people like Marty Skrull,
Mm-hmm.
do you see a future of him coming to AEW at one point?
What? Why?
Well, for one, he's one of the original. Well, not one of the original, but he is a Bullet Club member. So if
And
we're gonna do this,
he can go to
hmm,
New Japan.
uh, he
He
could,
he he, he can go to New Japan
but they
because
have that relationship,
so
and meaning he could show up in AEW regardless.
no. Listen, if they didn't want the Briscoes over there, you think they finna have Marty Scroll over there? And I'm talking about Warner, not Tony. Warner ain't going for that. Warner is not going for that.
So can he go to Ring of Honor then?
If anything that has to do with Tony, they're not going for that.
Hmm. Because wasn't the Briscoes on a Ring of Honor pay per view?
That was before Tony bought it.
Was it?
Because that was already booked for that before Tony even bought it. So he had to fulfill that. Like that wasn't after the fact.
FTR versus Briscoes
That was
was booked.
that was booked before Tony even bought Ring of Honor.
Okay.
Yeah, like this was booked like months in advance before he even thought about buying Ring of Honor.
So I guess I'm
So
just
he
trying
had
to
to fulfill
figure
that.
out how it's okay for like one match and then it isn't after that.
You're not listening. Like Sinclair had already booked FTR versus the Briscoes before Tony was even in the picture. Like he had to fulfill that.
But like, couldn't the Turner executives say, no, you're gonna have to reconsider, replan this because we don't
No,
want these guys on.
as a part of that contract, they let him honor that part
Okay.
for that pay-per-view, yeah. But anything after that, no, they're not coming to AEW. That's why they won the Impact Championships like this past weekend.
So is there a second chance for any of those people like y- not even Marty Squirrel or like Flip Gordon, but
Like
what
who?
about what about like Zachary Wentz,
Who is that?
Nash Carter? He was
Where?
on uh, you tell me, man. I'm asking you the question.
Not in AEW.
So there would be no second chance for somebody like that.
Like I'm confused by the question. I mean, like, what is this?
Like, so for those people that get like, they basically get shunned out of like social media because of all the allegations and stuff like that.
Mhm,
They get blacklisted. Basically, is what I'm
mhm.
trying to say. People
They
like
can go
Marty
anywhere, but
Squirrel,
they can
people
go
like
anywhere but
Flipboard.
AEW. They can go anywhere but AEW because it's always going to be a double standard, always.
Okay, but then you got somebody like Jay Lethal, who people have said I don't have a problem. Listen,
I understand.
I'm far from
I
that.
understand. I understand. But as we've seen, I don't know how he got away with that, but he ain't put on a bad match since he came to AEW. All I know is the way these new Turner executives are operating. Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm.
So like, there's no statute
They
of
told Tony, do
limitations.
not sign the Briscoes.
Okay.
They told Tony, do not sign the Briscoes. After Ring of Honor, like the Supercard of Honor, they said, do not sign the Briscoes. Like, we not with that.
It's just so weird that obviously he wanted to at one point.
Mhm.
So it's like, yeah, I mean, why not? And then Impact goes ahead and picks him up.
Well, they thirsty and they desperate and they need all the help they can get. So I'm not shocked.
How do you feel about Impact currently?
I don't. I don't think nothing of them.
You don't have you don't have no feelings?
Mm-mm. I'm unbothered.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough.
I'll say this. They are what Tony Khan said they are in the new Swerve Strickland interview the other day. They are the dead zombie version of what WCW could have been and should have been. But they're not. Like, they're complete opposite.
Damn. I forgot he said that.
And he's not
So
lying.
so that's basically saying like we're done. Like our relationship between AEW and
No, he's
Impact.
basically saying they picked up half their talent when WCW went out of business, which they did. They did pick up a lot of they like as far as they veterans and stuff like the Stings, the Hulk Hogan's, and all of them, like them guys. But Impact's problem is they don't know how to book.
th- I'm gonna be honest with you. In order for me to even judge that, I have to watch at least one episode.
I've
Or
watched their pay-per-views, and that says a lot. Like the fact that you just had the Bullet Club lose to Honor No More on your pay-per-view, and I got respect for Kenny King of STP, but baby, listen, that was a bad decision.
yeah, because I mean, I didn't even know that, but you make the Bullet Club look like shit.
And it was their anniversary week.
Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, that's even more shittier, man.
I'm like, I could understand if it was to anybody but them. When I look at who all they got in Honor No More,
I don't even know who's in that.
uh, I know Mike Bennett, who's married to Maria Kanellis. Her husband is in the group. PCO, some guy named PCO, look like he's some hardcore legend. He's in the group. And I know Kenny King, who is cool with Shane Taylor. He's in the group, but he has the most talent and the most potential out of all of them. And they're holding him back.
And they beat the Bullet
They
Club,
beat the
which
Bullet Club.
consists
They
of
beat they beat the
Jay
Bullet Club.
White, Chris
Yes,
Bay.
they beat that Bullet Club.
That's that's asinine.
And the fact that you have Forbidden Door coming up in June, you cut their buzz for you cut their buzz for Honor No More.
Yeah,
And they wonder
yeah.
why they can't keep no and they wonder why they as a company can't keep no buzz after a pay-per-view because they make dumb decisions during the pay-per-view.
Nobody wants to. Yeah, like what's his name, Willie Mack. He's
Now Tony not buying Impact. He don't need nothing from them. They ain't got nothing Tony Khan needs. He got Ring of Honor all right there. They're fine.
by year 4 and ROH does well. You don't think so? You don't think that eventually he could try to basically take over the whole wrestling world?
He don't need Impact, baby. They don't have the roster for him to be trying to take over that. And I'm being respectful when I say that, but baby, that roster is lackluster as hell. Outside of Ace Austin and a couple of other people.
They got some good women on their roster. They have a good women roster.
Mm, who we talking about? Deanna, Jordan,
Yeah.
Savannah, Tasha. Oh, and who's the one they just not signed?
Mia
Giselle
Yim.
Shaw. Okay, that's six. Yeah, that's six. Oh, and like Master Slamovich, so that's seven.
All right, I think
But
Kenny was giving out the list. It's Kenny King, PCO, Eddie Edwards, Mike Kanellis, Maria
yeah,
Kanellis, and
that's
Matt
who beat the
Taven.
Bullet Club. That's who beat the Bullet Club.
I like Matt Taven, but I don't think he should be on the same team that beat the Bullet Club.
He was,
That leaves
sadly.
a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth, man. Like, because what's bigger than the Bullet Club besides what came before that?
You talking about like the elite?
Yeah, what's bigger? What's bigger than the Bullet Club besides like NWO?
I don't know because the elite they listen like they pretty much they've held their own quite a while as well. So I I can't say that like they're the biggest since the NWO. No, I can't go that far. But I will say like they do have a stronghold as far as this modern era, as far as factions go. Yes.
See, yeah, Kenny says nothing, nothing's bigger than Bullet Club. Bullet Club has when there was a year I stopped. Yeah, there was a year or two that I stopped watching wrestling, and I remember going into like stores and seeing Bullet Club T-shirts, and I had no idea what it was until I
Mm,
started getting back into it. So that's how big Bullet Club was. That you found just random, their T-shirts randomly at a store out of nowhere. So I don't know. I think, like you said, that's a really bad decision, and people are leaving. People are leaving. One of them, which is
who? Yeah. You talking about like Willie Mack and Jonah?
Willie.
Yeah, they left. Mhm.
Yeah, they're leaving, and it seems like, and the people that do sign don't sign a good a long contract. Think
Well, they
about
just
this.
signed me and you to a 6 month contract. So, good
Yeah,
of
that's
her
what I'm
because
saying.
I wouldn't have signed the only year long contract either. She's a smart girl. She'd end up in AEW or Ring of Honor.
He said, think about this. The Bullet Club right now have a group in every major wrestling company right
This
now.
is true. Hmm.
You know,
Hmm.
um, and KB pretty much reiterates that by saying the Bullet Club has taken over pro wrestling in this era. They have. They have. Um, but yeah, Mia Yim is really smart for taking that 6 months. And
She'll end up in AEW. She'll end up in AEW or a Ring of Honor one because ain't no way in the world she's going to pass up being over there with her man, where they don't have to travel all over the place, where they could just like come to work and go home together. Yeah, like she's coming to AEW. Like ain't no way in the world she's passing it up.
do you know what's funny is that we talk about us as fans, we talk about Impact, AEW,
Mhm.
WWE. Nobody ever has a podcast or an episode for NWA.
Why would
And you
they?
want to you exactly, and you want to talk about a subpar fucking roster?
Mm,
Um, NWA has a really bad roster.
yeah,
Not totally bad. They have a few gems in there, but I couldn't even tell you who's champion right now. Maybe Matt Cardona? Is he still champion?
I- why I don't know, but yes, he is sadly.
Or tag teams or anything like that? The only
I think
person
that
I keep up
I
with is
think that tag team.
JTG.
That, you know, their tag team champions is like a Latin group, I think. Yeah, but as far as JTG, no, I was never a fan of JTG. I mean, he was alright, but I mean, he was mid to me.
He was mid to you, even back in his
Mhm.
prime time days.
Mid.
Yeah. Okay. That's you're entitled to your opinion, man. I
But
mean, Have you seen
But
anything
NWA,
recently?
their heart and soul of NWA was Eddie Kingston and Thunder Rosa.
KB says NWA is dying. Um, yeah,
When would
is
they
it?
ever revive?
Yeah, well, yeah. I'm just trying to figure out like it's NWA. They were, you know, before WWE, everything. They were a territory. They were one of the biggest wrestling companies ever,
In the 80s and
and
90s, yeah.
yeah, and they died out, and then they revived, but they're not
For what?
doing
I don't
anything.
know.
They're not
But he
doing
will.
anything to make themselves bigger. It's like nobody gives a shit.
Their production is outdated. That's why.
I mean, when you have like, I mean, I've tried watching an episode. When you have 5 people in the stands going, yeah, it you can't get into it. Whereas you
This is,
watch AEW, they got a full fucking crowd,
and then
and
and they have they're they have one of the most loaded rosters in wrestling right now. I mean, to back it up,
fuck, it's loaded. Fuck,
mm, that men's division alone is listen. That men's division alone is loaded.
it's crazy.
Not to
And they got
mention, not to mention their new Ring of Honor talents that they signed, like Khan and Toa Leona, who once they get on television on Dynamite as a tag team, they're going to be a problem to deal with. For FT, I would like to see them versus FTR.
now. Is there a set in stone date time for ROH?
Tony Khan is right now working out the details of a television deal, but he hasn't really like announced anything yet. But the details for the television deal are actually behind the scenes being worked on with him and Warner, of course.
Okay. Um, it's crazy to me, man. How where we're at as far as wrestling in today's era. When I was a kid, it was
And let's
just
be clear,
WWE.
speaking of Ring of Honor, speaking of Samoa Joe, he's going to be scouting new talents for AEW to sign as well as a part of him being a part of AEW. So he's not just a wrestler, but he's a scout as well.
Uh, so Kenny says they had a good run when Cody came over, and then they had Ricky Starks and Pope. He's talking about NWA.
I mean, Pope was always mid too. I mean, I guess that was his second birth as far as NWA because TNA didn't do it for me with him over there and TNA.
What's going on, Lay? Welcome to the show. Oh, didn't mean to click that again. Really, you think Pope has been?
I
I
was never
like.
a fan of Pope. He's always been okay, but he's never made me okay. Like let me break my neck to see him wrestle. He's never been that guy to me.
Okay. I mean, I did like him when he was in the ECW WWE.
Mm-hmm.
You
That's
know.
where I got introduced to him from. Like
Yeah.
was from that.
Exactly.
I mean, who was this? Him and Monty Brown,
Hmm. Uh.
Mr.
Yeah.
Pounce, as they used to call him in TNA. Pounce, like the guy that used to like holler Pounce all the time.
He said Pope is a great manager. Or
Oh yeah, listen, he can talk for days. Don't get me wrong, but that ring work was always questionable to me.
um. Yeah. I wonder why people stay there. They can't. They can't have. They can't be paid a lot of money. It must be obviously for the love of wrestling. If
Yeah,
you're
for the
staying
love,
in
I think it's the
NWA.
love of wrestling. Because
Uh.
because the moment Thunder Rosa got out of there, baby, listen, she was ready to go. The moment Tony was able to buy her contract, she was out of there.
Don't be surprised if Regal helps with scouting too. Joey ain't the only one. Regal? I think Regal's okay with what he's got with his role right now. Monty Brown. Okay. Yeah. I think Regal's okay with the role he's got now. He's
Yeah,
there.
he's perfect for what he's doing right now with the but I mean with the like in Blackpool or Combat Club, absolutely.
Yeah. He I don't think he needs to have a scouting job. He's
Nah,
Probably done. He's
but
probably
when they
done with
did
the
get
whole
that
thing.
television deal, absolutely put him on television as that authority figure, like for Ring of Honor, like he was in NXT.
I do wish they do more general managers, and that's also a great question to ask. Is like, what happened to general managers? Like,
They got
what do you think happened? Do you think it got obsolete after a while?
they overused it, overplayed it when they shouldn't have in certain instances. Like sometimes you don't need a general manager just to get something over. Sometimes it's okay to let something breathe on its own. And I think they overused it, and then people got tired of seeing it.
I think now more than ever, they should bring it back.
Only if it makes sense.
Right, right. If it makes sense, like he's
Hmm.
not going to come out every after every match, basically. But
Like I wouldn't want to see Tony Khan on TV like every other week on Dynamite. I wouldn't want to see that because that's not what he's there to do. Like I
listen,
love the fact, like I like the fact that like the only time we see him is basically to make a big announcement. Like I've done bought Ring of Honor or I done bought so and so.
Ultimate Sports Talk says we could definitely bring back the laptop Raw general manager. Oh
I do
Lord,
remember that. I do remember that. Sadly, I do remember that.
Michael Cole saying,
Well,
"Can I
speaking
have
of general
everybody's
manager,
attention?"
Trish Stratus just said that she would like to be the general manager of WWE if they gave her like an opportunity.
What does that mean for like both shows?
She didn't say like if they offered it, she'd jump at it.
What is this? First female that AEW needs to get rid of is the zombie. Talking about
You,
Abaddon. I don't think no.
this is what I have a problem with. They should have put her in the House of Black. She would have been perfect next to Malachi Black, not Julia Hart. Tony dropped the ball on that. He should have been
Bro,
putting a zombie in that, not Julia.
she's not. I don't know if she's in it. They're not pulling the fucking trigger on anything.
Oh no, she will be. Cause Brody talked about that in the interview this morning. Like that slow burning her turn.
Somebody says Abaddon is one of the best in AEW. What are you talking about?
One of the best. Like what are we talking about as far as character? Yeah, but in ring wise, she's mid.
I thought she did pretty good against that match with her and Britt Baker. Granted, she hasn't had that many matches on TV besides
Let's be
anything
real.
that was.
If you had a choice to watch Serena versus, if you had a chance to watch Serena, Chris Statlander, or Sheeta over the zombie, you ain't trying to see the zombie wrestle over them. Let's be honest. It's okay. You can be honest.
I would like to. I would like to see her come up on the next match. After that match.
Baby, she been there almost a year. She ain't came up yet. What we doing?
I see your point. I see your point. It's
Listen,
the same thing. It's the
listen.
same thing. What I said about it's like people with Stu Grayson. It's like, okay, yeah, Stu Grayson is gone, but did you
Mm,
honestly give a shit up until he
They
left?
didn't. They did not. They did not.
It's like nobody was saying, "Wow, I can't wait for that next Stu Grayson match." Nobody's ever said that. I
Mm-mm.
don't think.
They haven't.
Uh, okay, so we got Joseph in the comments saying he doesn't like Abaddon apparently. Less of the zombie, more of the Joshis.
Yes, please. Give me more Riho. Give me more Sheeta. Give me more Yuka. I'm fine.
That match on Rampage was really good between Riho and what was her name? You
Or
got it.
Yuka.
Yeah, there you go.
Listen, when you have Riho, who's a protege of Kenny Omega himself, baby, you know you're going to get excellence.
You're right. Okay,
For
so
her to
he
be
says,
95 pounds, for her to be 95 pounds, baby, that girl can wrestle.
yeah, and she gets a lot of hate for that, and
Mm,
it's unnecessary because since when has weight in professional wrestling ever mattered?
it ain't never. Listen, look at Rey Mysterio. Wasn't he the heavyweight champion in WWE at his
He-
prime?
He's not a heavyweight. Yeah, exactly. It's like
Okay.
No, I know,
He
I
was the
know.
heavyweight champion.
We're on the same page, BMAC. We're on the same
Hmm.
page. Um, but Ultimate Sports Talk is saying, I love to see them do more with Abaddon. You don't get good without TV time. The sample size is too small with her.
Honestly, I would put her in Ring of Honor once they get that TV deal, so she can get her reps over there consistently,
I wonder how much she was just like, it's one of those things where
and that would keep her on TV.
yeah, it's one of those things where some of these people that came in at the beginning of AEW were just that. They were there to push it to where it is now. They've done their
Hmm.
job,
Hmm.
and now it's time for the new era. And it's
Hmm.
sad to say, it's like we're only 3 years in, but it's time for the new era of people to come in. And then before you know it, 10 years from now, there'll be another new era.
Who
There's
they
no
need to be signing is, well, they've already done it, but they just ain't announced it yet. They definitely need to start pushing Willow Nightingale more. Absolutely.
best match of the episode was Riho versus Yuka, plus Riho is an Omega disciple.
No, I can't say that because that Takeshita versus Jay Lethal was fire too in the main event. That was dope too.
It was a good match. That was a great match.
Listen,
Um,
and he's a Kenny Omega. He's a Kenny Omega. Like a mentee as well, and he's only 25.
oh, he's only 25?
Yeah,
Wow, I did not know that. Yeah, I feel like Joseph has said that before about Riho being an Omega disciple on
she
the
is.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like he started training her when she was 9.
Holy shit. Is that the one he had a match with?
Yeah,
Oh wow.
and she's
Wow.
only 20. Like she's only 23. She's young.
Yeah. What
Like
the
she's
hell?
young.
He's he says, yeah, ROH is a good spot for her.
Hmm. That way she would be on TV, basically getting her reps, but she wouldn't have that main pressure of being on Dynamite. That's a lot of pressure to be under. She would be in the B side on Ring of Honor doing what she needs to do. Yeah.
So you're saying people that go to ROH are pretty much the B side of things, or
No,
what?
because let's be clear, they're still going to have their own identity as far as Ring of Honor, but that's another outlet for people to get work who's not on TV.
Will we ever see, speaking of which, will we ever see, I know we saw him at Battle of the Belts, but
Hmm.
is Gresham going to be around to defend his title and anything else?
Let's be clear. I don't know if you heard it or not, but they officially signed Jonathan Gresham. They officially signed Jonathan Gresham to an official AEW contract, but he's wrestling on the Ring of Honor. So yes, he ain't going nowhere.
Okay, I did not hear that.
Yeah.
So,
Mm, yeah, trust me, Tony wasn't listen. Like, yeah, so like Tony wasn't playing around with that. Like, he made sure he's like signed him up at the Supercard of Honor.
24 years old, actually. Riho just crossed 15 years in the business. Holy shit. Let's see what else. Gresham still had the concussion symptoms. That's why we haven't seen him for a little bit.
I could have sworn he just wrestled at a like event this past week, like the week before last.
I wonder, was this during the Battle of the Belts?
Yeah, he got hurt during Battle of the Belts.
Oh,
Doing Undoubted Castle. Yeah,
oh shit.
but it wasn't
Um,
nothing serious. It was a concussion, but it wasn't anything other than that. But he's better now.
oh, good, good.
Yeah.
Uh, it's kind of hard to protect. It's kind of hard to stop from hitting your head when you got no
Hmm.
neck. Um, uh,
Hmm. No, that's true.
yeah, I'm just saying. I love Gresham's style, very mid South like. I like it
Hmm.
too. He's very talented, very very talented. I honestly, he's probably one of my favorites. I saw him live one time, and he's so good. Um, oh God, but I mean, we had a lot to talk about right now. One thing I wanted to mention to you
Hmm.
was, since we're talking about basically irrelevant. Um, since we talked about irrelevant, what do you call them? Promotions in the wrestling world. One of them I wanted to get your take on was what's up with fucking WoW?
They can't seem to get it together.
It, seriously though, it feels like that.
And it has a lot to do with Tessa. Tessa
And
is,
yeah,
she's a cancer over there.
she left though, right?
Her status is unknown.
Fuck.
And they and they had 3 tapings this week for their new era of Wild this week. Like they had 3 new tapings this week, and she wasn't at them.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I've
Let's
been
be
on that
honest. For
Twitter.
her to be only 26, she is a cancer to herself. And she's only 26. She's young. She should be on TV. Ideally, should be on TV in either WWE or AEW.
WoW is
But
basically chaos right now, and all due to Tessa.
he's not lying.
Um. Okay,
And
KB says.
the thing is, they have a TV deal. They have a TV deal. They signed with CBS Universal.
Where?
No, they listen like they have like a TV deal with on CBS, like a Viacom,
Yeah.
who owns CBS.
You got to tell me where that channel's at because I haven't seen shit.
You don't
I
get the
go to their
CW?
no. Oh, see the CW? They're on the
Yeah,
CW? Oh, no shit. See, they don't. I'll be honest. I went on that Twitter
but they don't
and
start back up until September.
okay.
That's why they're not on TV. But they actually signed like like a multi-million-dollar deal with Viacom / CBS / CW.
Uh, the problem is nobody's watching still. I think.
Well, you can't watch what you ain't producing. Like they just had their first 3 tapings this week.
Okay. Fuck. I
But
mean,
that girl,
KB says from a talent standpoint, Tessa Blanchard is top 5, but as a person, she is lower than dirt.
sad, yes.
Then Kenny says she was sent him and all her training classes was canceled till further notice. Wow. So then we got AJ Brooks has buyer's remorse, honestly, dealing with WoW. Yeah, I bet she all the plans that I think they had regarding WoW has gone out the window pretty much. She came in as a producer. All these people started joining up. Then so far 2 of them have left. 2 of them that were like the people that were the originals, like Alex Gracia and Tessa Blanchard. She's out the door.
Alex was one of the newer ones.
Alex Gracia?
Yeah, like she was one of the newer ones.
Yeah. I saw her at the launch party though.
Oh, he said, so he thinks Giselle is overrated. She's not overrated, but I don't think she's really gotten to show what she's really capable of.
What is Impact thinking with her? I don't get it. I'm gonna be
She
honest.
has potential. She has potential, but she hasn't really gotten to show it.
Tessa Blanchard is too toxic for any wrestling locker room. Now you're all good, Kenny. KB Brown always hated her despite the talent she had. Same with Charlotte. I don't know if you can really compare that.
No, you can't compare the two. Because Charlotte ain't spitting nobody's face and calling nobody the N-word.
Gracia is one of Rosa's pals. Not too good in ring though. Listen, I think she's all right. I think she's great. But yes, the Mission Pro Wrestling probably has a chokehold on some of these women talent more than WoW does.
They do. They do. Mhm.
They probably put on better matches. I wouldn't know
They
because
do.
I don't ever see it.
They
They
do.
do.
No, they do.
I mean, good for them. Imagine
That's
being
who.
Thunder Rosa.
That's who deserves to get a television deal for their network. Is her. She deserves to get a television deal for Mission Pro on TV.
Yeah, you know what? That would be something I feel like Tony
Because
Khan should
people would
jump
actually
on.
tune in for that. Like, like people would actually watch that.
You want to buy, so we're talking about buying stuff. You want to buy Ring of Honor, that's fine. Tony Khan should buy MPW
No,
and
that's
keep
Thunder
that.
Roses. No, he can help her get a deal.
Well, there you
I'll try
go.
to do that. But as far as buying it, it's Rose's baby.
I mean, they could probably work out something to where
Mm-mm.
she still owns it,
Ring of
but
Honor and AEW,
he helps produce it.
that's fine. I'll be fine with that.
Yeah, like it's Tony Khan's money, but he's not owning it. I feel like that would be great. That way, you could honestly just use that, and because people complain that there's not enough women's matches on TV a lot. So I think in
These
order
are
to
these are the
but
same
I
ones
think
who
in
don't
order
watch the
to
show no more.
please the crowd, in order to please the masses, even though it's moot because I don't feel like anybody's ever satisfied with anything.
They
You
don't
could do
understand how
that.
TV works. They don't understand how TV works. It takes a lot to get on TV. Just because you work for somebody doesn't mean you're going to automatically get on TV. Like you have to be able to draw.
No, you're right. And I made that point a few times. I'm just saying I would love to see maybe like a one-time event of basically what WWE tried to do with Evolution. Um, KB Brown says, in the beginning, I wanted Tesla, Blanchard, and AEW more than anyone. Knowing what I know now, I'm man enough to say I was wrong for wanting that. You weren't wrong for wanting that. She 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 had high hopes when she went to All In, and she ran her mouth and got in trouble basically. So, and now now I don't even know if it's in her anymore to do wrestling.
I don't think she wants it no more.
Yeah. Brown Pastor Swole tried that stunt too. Glad she is out. Wow. I got nothing to say to that. I got nothing. Yeah, we'll move on from there. But actually, we're almost out of time. If there's anything else you would like to talk about, please let me know now.
That Swole situation was a lot. That Swole situation was a lot.
Yeah, it was, man. Didn't she say that she's open to getting a phone call back?
Because she caused Shane Taylor a job and Leo Rush a job.
Yeah, right?
She
Because if it
she
wasn't for
dragged them
that,
into she dragged them into her BS because they was in spaces talking about Tony Khan, and where it got back to Tony, what was being said, hence why he didn't sign Shane Taylor.
that's see, I didn't know
Because
that.
let's be clear, they signed Khan, he's officially signed, but they was going to sign Shane Taylor too. Like they was going to sign all three of them STP members. But Shane Taylor cost himself a bag when he was talking shit about Tony Khan in spaces with Swole.
So damn, man.
But they signed Khan though. They signed him and they got him signed to AEW/Ring of Honor. And it's in a group that's managed by Tully Blanchard.
It takes one person to fuck it all up, huh? So, because honestly, Leo Rush is probably one of my favorite wrestlers.
His problem is he's a self-sabotager.
Uh, I agree with that to a certain extent. It wasn't his fault that he got fired from WWE.
No, but this situation scared him though.
Oh, crap. No, this is this one. KB says, we may not need them, but I would love to see Johnny and Candice Gargano be all elite. So with that, I would say, because tomorrow is the AEW watch along on this channel, I think we get to see who the Joker is.
Nope, not until Samoa Joe has this match.
When is okay?
Because he's wrestling the Joker.
Okay. I don't know, because Johnny Gargano has openly said on a podcast that he doesn't know where he fits exactly in wrestling at the moment. So I'm not sure if he's gonna even join AEW, or in that case, Candice.
I could see them signing Cesaro though and have him debut against Samoa Joe.
I could see that too, and obviously he would have to win, right?
Yes, because you're not debuting him to lose. But then again, Samoa Joe can't lose either because he's the Ring of Honor World Television Champion. So
yeah, that's where we fall in, because I remember you saying on last Friday, you said they're not going to bring in a Joker and have him lose. But there lies the
because
problem.
think about it. Ruby was a Joker for the Casino Battle All Out Women's Battle Royale, and she won. She won as the Joker because she defeated Thunder Rosa.
Was Thunder Rosa champion at the time?
No, she wasn't. Britt was.
See, that's I think that's
because Ruby winning that Battle Royale as the Joker set up her wrestling Britt at Grand Slam.
I think I forgot about that. That's interesting. So I don't know. So as far as the Johnny Gargano Candice thing, I mean, anything is possible.
They just had a baby. They need to don't rush it.
Yeah, Candice, I don't see. Johnny, I possibly, but there's so many other people that are free agents at the moment.
Listen, let's be clear. If it ain't Athena for the women, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Because they're going to be in Texas.
Also, guys, like, consider this. If you don't set your expectations high, you won't get disappointed with the result. So you could say Johnny Gargano's going to show up. You could say Cesaro's going to show up, and it may not be them. So I would just say play it by ear, because it could be somebody you've never fucking heard of, and then you guys will go on Twitter and complain about that. So just wait to see what happens.
Let's be clear. Whoever is debuting as the Joker, they will be getting that All Elite graphic. We know that. Both the men and the women. One of them is getting an All Elite graphic. Both of them. So they've already been signed, because you don't debut a Joker if they're not signed. Like, let's just be clear. Whoever these two Jokers are, they're getting that All Elite graphic the same night they debut in their respective matches.
See, that's exactly what I'm talking about, Joseph, is that I mean, that's fine if you think it's Athena, but I'm saying
I'm saying it's Athena because they're going to be in Texas. Athena is from Texas. What better way to debut her in her hometown?
Okay. I mean, you're right. I mean, we come from a place now where you can just show up
Because let's
and
be honest, it can't be Tegan because she's having visa issues. She can't work because of visa issues,
right.
and that takes 6 months. Six, however long that process is, that's a long process. It's not her. Legally, it's not her because of the visa issues. So if it ain't Taya, it has to be Athena. Or they could bring in a Joshi from Japan, which I would love that as well.
Toe coming in with the prediction. It's Goldberg.
Oh God, that's the last thing they need.
It's good. Man, could you imagine?
Oh, mm-mm. The meltdown. Their mentions wouldn't be the same.
No, it.
Their mentions would be. They would have to cut their comments off.
I think AEW might have to go out of business after that.
Nah, they wouldn't have to go out of business, but they would have to cut their comments off for the rest of the week.
Before we go, we this has actually been fun once again. Of course,
Absolutely.
Mack, you're
Mm-hmm.
always welcome to come on here again. But
Listen, anytime you need me, listen, like just let me know.
I got okay. Yeah, I appreciate that, man. It's one thing I wanted to ask.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a simple question.
Mm-hmm.
How over is Wardlow right now?
He's very much over. He's over to the point where the moment he power bombs MJF through a table, that's going to be nuclear over for him.
It's great, isn't it? And it's so
Mm-hmm.
great to see that he's like one of the homegrown guys.
He's a homegrown talent.
Yep.
He ain't been in Impact. He ain't been in New Japan. He ain't been in WWE. He came straight off the Indies.
And that's amazing how they've
And
been
speaking of
able.
which, he was a Brit scouting because Brit scouted him to get signed by AEW. Brit scouted him.
Right. Because didn't he do some things in the indies with her?
They came from the same indie company. Like they came from the same they came from the same indie company, yeah. In
There you go.
Pittsburgh.
It's so great to see that because a lot of people say, well, all they bring in is ex-WWE guys. And they never, they never push the
Half they
storyline with their.
half their young talents ain't never been in WWE. Darby ain't been in WWE. Sammy ain't been in WWE. Jade, well, she had a tryout, but she wasn't on main roster, so that don't count. Um, let's see who else. Jungle Boy, he ain't never been in WWE.
I think it's funny how they say that. Like they say all they sign is ex-WWE guys. But then when they have somebody debut or come out that nobody knows, they complain about that too. Like
Well, they love to keep Lee and Swerve Strickland because baby, I ain't seen not one complaining about them yet.
It's different for everybody, I guess.
And
But
this is the thing I don't understand. Wrestling is the only company. Well, wrestling is the only sport where fans care who signed to who. You get people who they leave basketball leagues every day. Oh, so I'm gonna leave the Lakers and go to the Heat. You don't see their fans complaining. Oh, fuck you, you.
no, they
Wrestling is
don't
the
go,
only.
you fucking traitor. Yeah. Well, no, people do that. People
Do
do
they?
that. Yeah.
Well,
When
they
Tom
did it
Brady
when
went
he
to
left.
Tampa Bay, there was a
When
lot of
LeBron left Cleveland. Yeah, they did it to LeBron. I do remember being on Twitter when they turned on LeBron. I do remember that.
they've done the Wardlow story perfectly. Double or Nothing will be the end of MJF's part.
Hmm. And then he can move on to challenge for the championship.
Um, yeah, and then Kenny says what you just said. They did it with LeBron James.
Yeah, I do remember them turning on LeBron because there was, yeah.
It doesn't matter. I think there's a lot of sports besides like baseball that has a fan base where people complain about a person going to another team.
But they wasn't doing that in the 90s, though. You didn't see people turning on Stone Cold for going to WWF when he left WCW.
You didn't see it because it wasn't on. There was on
Like,
Twitter.
well, they had the AOL group. Well, I'm pretty sure those those
They
AOL
probably
chats was lit up.
they probably
But
wrote some angry letters.
well, yeah, because they did used to do like fan mail back in the day. They need to bring that back, to be honest. Because listen,
Yeah, they do need to bring back some fan mail.
mm,
Some people don't write anymore; they just email.
no, because they got the phones. Like everything is so accessible by phone. Listen, I don't want to watch the news. I can get it on my phone. I don't want to do this. I can put it up on my phone. Like they don't really
Exactly.
gotta write no more. Like you know, because you damn near gotta write just to go to the bank because you can do it like over the phone.
It's like how you watch. It's like how you watch wrestling. Some people say they don't even watch the show; they just watch YouTube highlights, and that's how
Mm-mm,
they
I
know
just want to
what's
watch the
going
full
on.
show. I need to watch everything so I can take it in. So when I see the bad faith comments, oh, so and so was whack. Well, I watched the full show, so you was lying somewhere. Like that's why, like, if somebody say Rampage is gonna be whack this week, I'm not gonna take word of mouth until I see it for myself.
Yeah, you should be
Because
your
half the
own.
time, like the people that be saying it just be hating just to hate because damn it, you don't even like the company no way. So you just trying to deter me. But when I watch the show, I'm like, damn, that Takeshita versus Jay Lethal was actually dope. But you had people say, oh, that was whack. Like I ain't like that main event. But when I watched it, that was the match of the night outside of Riho and Yuka.
Yeah, no, you're right. You should be your own critic,
Mm-hmm.
and have your own opinion about it. Don't worry about what other people are saying. Um, Kenny says because Austin wasn't a major player at the time. Shit, WCW didn't even want Austin. They
That
fired.
was their major flop because look at what he did after he left and went to WWF. Like how big of a star he became during the Attitude Era.
He's still one of the biggest stars
Mm,
alive right now.
So Mr. Salty over there, he can be salty, but Tony ain't doing his pitfalls that he did for WCW.
And on that note, I think we're gonna call it here. Um,
Absolutely.
Thank you again, BMAC, coming back on.
Like I
Uh,
said, look, listen, like anytime you need me, look, I'm here. See,
yeah,
you got my number to shoot me a text and I'm on here.
I got you, man. Yeah, unfortunately, Ultimate Sports Talk couldn't come on. He had some family stuff going around, so
Mm-hmm.
um,
I seen him lighting up the comments, so I just may have to update this podcast next. So listen, so I don't know if he has a Twitter. I'm gonna have to follow him if he does, so we can
he
set
does.
that up because I would love to update his podcast next.
Absolutely, absolutely. You should hit up the call up and anybody from the Knucklehead Network, which is this
Listen,
guy.
listen, get me their ads so I can follow them, and then I can go from there.
Absolutely, I will. I will do that after the show.
All right,
But
thank you.
speaking of which, before we go ahead and plug yourself real quick.
Listen, you can follow me on Twitter. It's Milano_mob with 4 B's, or better yet, catch me on the Midwest Months podcast every week. You know, talking wrestling. It's I, the T Spiller, who have the hottest exclusives from behind the scenes on the latest breaking news and signings in the world of AEW. And stay tuned because I'm gonna have some forbidden door breaking news in a few weeks too. And you ain't gonna want to miss out on that when I drop that exclusive on the show. So tune in.
All right, guys, that's it from us. Have a good evening. Uh, Hope you guys like NXT 2.0 tonight. Peace out.